Hey, what's up guys? Got a good video here for you. I'm going to tell you exactly how much I spent in 2021 and what I learned from it. So there are some valuable lessons. I don't know everything, but I think some of these can be helpful for you, especially if you're just starting up, on how to grow your agency, expedite your process, and where to kind of place your money. And like I always say, this is not legal advice. Definitely just take this for entertainment purposes and learn from some of my mistakes. So let's dive into it. All right, so one thing I've learned, $221,000 roughly in expenses is a large number in my world, because we were just kind of getting going in the first couple of years. It's a good amount of expenses. So the one thing I did learn though with that is that the more that you do spend is the more that you're going to grow. So whether that's and that's not necessarily true if you're doing it in the wrong areas. So what I'm talking about is the more you spend in the right areas, like advertising, marketing, hiring, training, different things that are ROI positive will help you grow in the long run. So the more you can front load that into your agency, or whatever stage of your agency you're in, whether it's 5-10 years in, the more you put in is the more that's going to come out. And in the long run, as you build up any business, will pay off in the long run. So the more you can invest, the better. Obviously, that kind of means that you're going to probably pay yourself less, or you're going to take less home for yourself. Others might reap the benefits, but the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. So in the long run. So I think that purely comes down to, as somebody who enjoys the game of business. Like, this isn't for everybody, like I say a lot. If you're purely in it for your own income and rewards, then that's probably going to hurt a lot more than it is for example, for me. I'm just going to be just transparent and honest with myself and with everyone here. I just like the game of I like hiring another person, paying for training. I like watching it build and grow and develop more than I want to take home 100 grand myself. I just don't care about 100 grand to me. I'm like, whatever. I'd rather just keep growing and building, and that's what keeps me ticking. So for me, that's kind of where my head is at, and I feel like that is something not natural to everybody, and it's certain people, and that's why certain entrepreneurs, I think, do better than maybe others, because they like the game of business and it just keeps them going, and they're not. The faster you start to pull out of the business for your own personal, benefit, that's the first day that your business is going to start to slow down. So I want to grow as fast as I possibly can, and as big as I possibly can, and take it as far as I can until I reach the point where I have to sustainably pay myself and live on my own, and do these kind of things to take care of my own lifestyle. I'm not at that point where I'm I have to start drawing. So anyways, now I'm just ranting a little bit, but the moral of the story there is the more you spend, the more you put in, the more you'll get out. It's kind of like the old saying, you need to put you need to put wood into the fire in order to get the heat from the fire. You can't get heat from the fire without putting the wood in first. So the more wood you put in, the more heat you're probably going to get, the bigger the fire will get. You can dump a little bit of gas on there, start blowing that thing up a little bit, So anyways, another good lesson that I learned from spending that much money is you need to get a bookkeeper and you need to get a CPA, so that the CPA can teach you and guide you on tax strategy. The bookkeeper, so you know your numbers. Knowing your actual numbers is crucial. So first of all, you need to do a good job of that on your own. And then you need to have another professional kind of dig in with a fine tune, just kind of comb through everything, make sure your expenses are going in the right places. What is really an expense? What's not an expense? Can you write that off? Can you not write that off? CPAs will be able to guide you, whatever entity structure you decide to use, whether it's an S Corp, LLC, corporation, different entities, and the benefits. Hopefully you have a good CPA that'll give you some advice and tips on here's what you can do. You can write this stuff off, travel expenses, gas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That can actually lower your tax liability. Like I said, this is for entertainment purposes, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. That's just what I do. I have an LLC as an S Corp, So what I've learned for myself is, my own payroll, paying myself is an expense as well. And also that brings my tax liability down. And there's also dividends you can give yourself or bonuses at the end of the year. So right as we come to the end of the year here in 2021, there's some income that you could bonus yourself to that is, not necessarily, it's tax beneficial. So obviously I'm not an expert in the tax world. I just do insurance. I'm very good at insurance. We're getting better and better. So if you need insurance, let me know. But if you need tax stuff, talk to your CPA. Another thing I learned is like cutting unnecessary expenses. Like I said, like the more you put in, the better. But if you're putting it in the wrong areas, like food isn't really a great ROI. Like if you do take out a client to a big dinner, a nice dinner, like that's great, but don't be doing that. Like I'm saying this for myself because I spent way too much I'm looking at my books and I'm like, I spent way too much on food this year. Like I need to bring lunch once in a while instead of buying lunch every day. Anyways, cut unnecessary expenses. It'll help you. Another thing is investing in training. I think one of the biggest and most important things that doesn't see an immediate ROI always is training. Like training is something that's sustainable in the long term. And like the faster you can get your team and everybody on the same page and knowledgeable, the faster they can do their own things and multiply and grow the business. So that's how you really grow a sustainable business. Like some of these biggest companies in the world, their training programs and their onboarding for new hires and stuff like that is just it's remarkable. So that's why I'm really starting to learn that like investing in other people is actually some of the best things you can do with your money. So spend money on people you believe in. Camden, I believe in you. People that you like trust and like you know that are gonna do a good job. And like and that's the same thing on the other side of the coin. Like if you see they're not doing a good job, you need to learn to like cut that loss early and like fire them. That's it. I know it's kind of intense, but it is what it is. And so last thing I would say is hold your breath. Like if you are in a position where you don't need the money right away, like I was saying earlier, hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. The longer you can hold your breath. Shout out to Dan Kitajima if you're watching this. I feel like I heard this from you once. You're like, hold your breath. The longer you can hold your breath, the better. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm holding my breath hard, like I'm starting to turn purple. And I'm going to keep going. So yeah, just keep holding your breath, reinvest. And yeah, it's funny because like my number, I said I thought was a big number, but like some other agencies and other agents out there would probably just laugh. Like they're like, dude, I spent that in a month. So like we're just still getting going. We're just in the process, but I think we're in a healthy spot. In the next couple of years, that number is definitely going to get larger. And as all the numbers start to increase together, so expenses, income, revenue, payroll, marketing, everything starts to grow year after year, and that's kind of how this business works. So that's all I got. Hopefully that helps. Just a little dive, inside the books of what we're really doing, kind of like even revenues and what we're looking at. So I won't talk about the actual like incomes. That's our expenses, but that's all I got. Hopefully that helps you. Hopefully you take away a little piece of gold nugget of advice and knowledge. And that's all I got. I will see you guys at the top. Have a great end of the year, and I will also drop some more knowledge of other stuff I've learned here in 2021 and what we're going to do in 2022. So keep an eye out. That's all I got. We will see you guys at the top. And if you guys need any help, chriscostantini.com. There's more info there. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. See you at the top. Peace.